What's up, guys? We're gonna be doing the EVGA mod, thermalpad mod today, and here's my messy desk. So let's get started. I'll be trying to figure out what the best placement for all these cameras are gonna be. I almost didn't do this stream today because it was getting late and I didn't figure everything out. But I said, whatever, let's do it anyways. Live entertainment's always funner, right? So, if you guys are tuning in for the first time, this is, I guess I would say this is my pride and joy, really. This case is awesome. Case Labs Bullet BH2. It was a build that I kind of went all out in. I wanted to originally sell it when I built it, but I just like it too much, so decided to keep it. I already took the screws off to get this cover off. And there she is, the GTX1080 for the win. Apparently there's an issue where the VRM get a little bit on the warm side, and yeah, I'm not so sure it's actually a real problem, but I won't turn down free parts. Let's see, let me get things arranged easily so I could see the chat window. I'm gonna be answering questions and really just wanted to kind of be like a hanging out kind of experience. So if you guys have questions, shoot me questions. I'll try my best to answer them. Okay. If like the audio, like the music's too loud or too soft or whatever, let me know. But let's get started. I think what I'm gonna do first is blow this off. So I'm gonna mute the mic. I have an air compressor I use for this, so I'll be right back. Alright, so now that everything's basically clean for the most part, I don't know if you guys noticed, but I was placing my hands on the fans just to keep them from spinning. I don't know that it'd be like an actual problem, but I would think that technically if the fan spun fast enough, it could cause issues, or it could potentially, generate electricity and cause something to fail. I've heard of that before. I don't know if it's true or not, but I'd rather be safe than sorry. trusty screwdriver. So this case, I have the optional light bars here. Didn't come with them. You have to buy them separately. You know, it'd be nice if it came with them because this is a $200 case. The light bars are like an extra, I think like 15 bucks or so. But I could deal with it because the quality is just so high on everything. Everything's aluminum on this thing, except for the screws. I'll be keeping an eye on chat as well. So for now, I'm just gonna take the video card out. Trusty screwdriver. I intentionally looked for the one that was that long, just because when you're working in normal cases, it just comes in handy. The shorter screwdriver, sometimes you'll have to be spinning it inside the case, and this doesn't make it as easy. Try to release the video card locking tab on the PCI Express slot. I have to disconnect one of my SATA cables. So in this case right now, I currently have one 950 Pro Samsung, and I have two 850 EVOs. On top of that, I have a 1 terabyte spinning drive. So there's technically 4 drives in the system right now. Okay, that's all taken care of, so we'll make some space. Those of you curious, that's a 6700K build in there, and it's overclocked to 4.6 gigahertz at 1.312 volts, and that knocked to a U9S cooler does really good. So let's see what we need to take apart. So the thing with this mod, there's 2 parts to it. There's a thermalpad that goes behind it, and then EVGA included one that would go on top of the chokes up here, so that, let's see if you guys could see this. The chokes are basically right here, and they're trying to make the chokes touch the fins right here. I honestly don't think that's necessary. I think it's kind of like EVGA is trying to cover their butt now that people are complaining about this. So today I think I'm just gonna do the one that goes back here. Earlier today I was gaming on Battlefield 1 and I just got some infrared temperature readings. Technically the back plate will probably get hotter now that the thermal pads will be in place because it's transferring heat better. So that's what I'm actually gonna be looking for. I'm gonna look for an increase in temperature on the back plate while gaming. That will tell me that, oh, okay, it's actually transferring heat. If this stream is really short, I might pause it. Basically I'll have to end it because this is my normal streaming computer right here, the Case Labs build that I'm working on. I'm using my backup computer for the stream, so I may jump in a Battlefield later. So I'll have to end it and resume it on the Case Labs computer I'm working on. So let's see, what do we need to take off? I guess I'll read the directions. don't know if you guys could see this. I don't know how good this will get. So you could see the chokes are the items that are in red. But we're gonna do, let's see, where's the picture? This really doesn't show it very well, but we're gonna be doing this one. They just want us to put it on the back plate. Let's see if that works. Totally dig using this raised IKEA desk with my little stool. It just puts everything right at eye level. So what I'm doing right now is taking off the back plate. If I was trying to take off the cooler, we'd be just taking off these four. I haven't read the directions, so we'll just find out as we go if I'm doing this right. I did see Gamers Nexus do theirs earlier in the week when they got theirs. So, but I've taken video cards apart before. My 770, the one that I'm streaming on, that one actually has a volt mod. So back in the day when the 700 series was out, I was actually able to achieve 1500 megahertz on that one, which was huge back then. If you had like 1350 megahertz on a 700 series, that was like a really good overclocker. I don't think anyone ever had more than 1400 megahertz. I think I just got lucky. I had a golden sample where without any voltage when it was new it would do 1370. I mean that was it. Like so to get 1500 out of it, it took a lot of voltage. So let's see if I broke it yet. Bits and Crafts, thanks for posting, dude. I appreciate that. I'm a pretty new streamer too, guys. I think I started doing streams, man, what was it, like 2 weeks ago tops. My goal is to, I build computers, so my goal is to basically stream every computer build I can. I did game streaming, you know, as well, just to kind of get used to OBS. I like gaming, I'm just not good enough for people to tune in to watch me game, really. Alright, cool. I'm just checking things out, because I mean, I'm as curious as you guys probably are. I think we could let's bring in the camera. There's a few pads we'll need to remove as well. I'll look at the manual for that. I just remember that from when Gamers Nexus did theirs. Cool. I think that works. I hope you guys could see all that clearly. All of these screws appear to be the same size, so I'm just gonna throw them now into my little tray over here. Sometimes, it's not often, because manufacturers want to keep, you know, things simple, but well, they don't. They just want to keep things cheap, so they'll use the same screw, but sometimes you'll get one that'll have a different size somewhere. So let's see what we need to remove, because there's a pad or two. I think it's these right here. There's 1, 2, and then 3, because that's where the thermal pad should go. I don't really know how this all got started too. Like, somebody that probably was on a web page had a friend, you know, and this probably happened to their friend, and they had a loud microphone. Because man, I remember when Asus, you know, it was on the R9. What was it? It was the R9 290, I think. What's up with this? Oh wait, there's a layer. The 290, they used the same cooler as like the generation before, I think from the 7970 or something, and it wasn't contacting properly the GPU, the actual core itself. And you know, that made news, and then it went away because Asus didn't do anything about it. They basically said tough luck, it is what it is, and it went away. But EVGA, they stepped up. They're giving these kits out for free. If you don't feel comfortable doing this, you could send them your card, and they'll give you back a card that's all done. And I actually think it's they're doing advanced cross ship, so I don't even think you'll be without a card, but I don't know that to be true for sure. But you know, they try to make it right so that it makes headlines. It gets delayed because, you know, each phase of it, there's something to report. You know, this was phase 1, and then they released a BIOS update which increased the fan speed, and that was that made headlines again. So people kind of think like, oh, the pads weren't enough. So yeah, we need to remove this one, and this one, which is what they have right there. Let's see. And if you guys can chat, if the camera angles, if you need a closer look, let me know. I could try holding stuff up. Actually, this would be cool. So it's so weird looking back at the computer screen. It's not really showing up too much. Yeah, there it is. So we're gonna remove this, and this. I was at a expo the other day. I got to speak with a few of the people from EVGA, and they, you know, they just want their customers to be happy. That, you know, they kind of feel like, hey, you know what, we're within operating range, but we understand what, you know, people, gamers, you know, overclockers, they want the best temps possible. We're gonna fix it, and we're gonna try to make it as easy for you. Cool. So now I just have a little bit of residue over here from one sticker. Just gonna get that off. Cool. At this point, we're gonna wipe it down. Make sure I'm using a clean paper towel. I'm just gonna use a general cleaner. The product I'm using is technically like a glass cleaner, but it's labeled like glass and multi-purpose. So I'm just gonna wipe things down. So I blew the card out earlier. There seems to be like 0 dust on the board, so I'm feeling good surface. This isn't like the same as thermal paste, but you know, you still want dust free. I'm just kind of checking out what's going to be covered up. So alright, so I'm sorry for hitting the mic there, guys. So it looks like the chokes are right here. So the VRM should be these guys. They're on the opposite side. Peel away the adhesive. Which is a little more difficult to do with gloves. There we go. This feels almost like a magnet. It has that kind of density. And I'm trying to read the brand. I'm trying to read the brand right now, but wouldn't mind having another light source, but I think it messes up the cameras. So this might help me get a better visual on it. A little OCD too, so it's like I want to make sure it's lined up properly. Okay, I gotta go over a little more. Okay, so one concern I have for like long-term use is if I'm gonna have like, if this is gonna be a dust magnet, I'm kind of tempted to tape that up. Okay, let's do that. This is alright. So I'm gonna be doing something that is technically gonna probably remove some of the efficiency, but it'll be better than me not cutting it at all. Or I mean, well, you'll see. Alright, so what I'm doing right now, guys, this is more for cosmetics. You'll see where I end up putting these. And I feel okay doing this because honestly, I don't know that there really is a problem to begin with. I think EVGA is just trying to go above and beyond. For me,
increase your gift-giving power free right
like
now at the Home Depot. Buy a Ryobi 18-volt 1 Plus drill driver kit and get a select Ryobi 1 Plus tool or battery free up to a $79 value. One battery powers over 70 1 Plus tools, and right
cool,
now, one of those is free.
Basically, what I'm trying to achieve is that, so if I don't put that little piece of the plastic back, this is just going to collect dust, and it's going to become a dust ball farm. Since there is adhesive there, and want this to look, I don't want it to look ghetto, you know, a couple months from now. It was almost a $700 card. Well, when you factor tax in and all, it was. So that's why, you know, I'm basically removing and reinstalling all this stuff. This is not part of the manual that they send. This is me being OCD about looks. And I figure, like, alright, so if this thermal tape is capable of transferring heat from, if it's capable of transferring heat away from the PCB, it should transfer heat whether or not there's plastic there. It'll just spread it to other portions of the tape. That's like my logic. So take this off, get everything nicely lined up. That seems cool. I'll check chat in a moment just in case anyone's commenting. Make sure everything's nicely pressed down. Yo, Wicked, what's up, man? No, dude, I mean, this is my personal computer, and really, dude, to get an electrical shock, you would need to be really like rubbing it, and you know, this is what's touching it. I wouldn't want to put like this end down on there, but I mean, there's nothing that's gonna happen like this, you know. The humidity here is, you know, I'm right by the ocean. I'm like a mile from the water, so there's a lot of humidity in the air anyways. So I'm not too worried about it in this situation. Cool. So next thing I want to do is I might only get, you know, one clean shot at this. So I'm gonna try to place it down nice and straight. I'm gonna put a screw in the corner one, like I'm doing right here, so I could use that as a reference point. Once this is started, I'll feel okay dropping it down nice and slow. Yeah, I'll do this other corner too. So now those two are in. It'll be real easy to just drop it in nice and easy. Make sure everything lines up. So one thing with cars, you do, like, you know, if you're working on motors or wheels, or, I mean, anything on cars, you have a torque pattern. So I think when I actually start torquing things down, I'm just gonna do these four first, and then I'll go out, just to kind of apply even pressure to that pad. But for now, I'm just gonna get all of them in there. Make sure all the threads line up before I start tightening anything. If I were to, let's say, like, just start tightening one of them, it could potentially be out of alignment, you know, in another spot. And what really kind of happens in the real world is you'll be halfway through them, and then it's like, I can't get this one bolt in, this one screw in, because the other ones are tight, and now I can't move this plate to line it up. Some people get lazy and they try to force a screw in and they strip a hole. You know, if you find yourself in that situation, it's kind of like, all right, just loosen them all up again and then screw it in. Don't try to force it in. But that's why I just get them all started first, and then I'll tighten them all up. See, like, feel a little bit of resistance there. That's why, you know, it's nice to have it loose so I could wiggle it a little. There's also thread lock on these. There's blue thread lock, so that'll add a little bit of resistance. Okay. So Wicked, you're asking about like when I'm screwing everything in, how do I make sure nothing gets bent? I know, Wicked, I need a new playlist, dude. I need a new playlist. I just use this because I know it's a Twitch approved artist. And the name is Approaching Nirvana. But I don't want them to like mute my archive, so I'm just playing it safe. I know this one will work. I'm playing it safe. But back to the original question. I know it's not gonna break because this backplate, it's just part of the support. You know, it's optional. Not every card has it. There's a brace, a bracket that runs across the card here, and that's kind of doing most of the work. But the heavy stuff is being supported by the table right now. So the board is just hanging out. If I like carelessly grabbed it by the board, that would kind of give tension across the whole, you know, that could cause maybe some weird issue, but I just like to handle it delicately. And you'll be fine. There's not really like a worry of breaking anything. So as I mentioned, I'm just going to be tightening these four up first until they feel snug, just to apply even pressure, because that pad is like right in the middle here. It's getting sandwiched primarily by these four. So I'm just going to kind of, this one just bottomed out, that one bottomed out, alright, bottomed out, bottomed out. So now that these are tight, I'm just going to go around and do the rest. Get my hand out of the way. Just waiting for them to kind of just stop spinning, and that's it. I'm not trying to apply a lot of torque. I'll go back and do it one more time, but I'm not going to apply a lot of pressure because, you know, it's not a big deal. There's thread lock on them too, so I mean that's going to be what really holds them in place. So now I'm just going to kind of make sure they're snug. I'm not trying to like tighten them like crazy. I'm just trying to just give it a little extra turn to make sure they're in. I have to make sure I didn't forget any of them. Like these two, I didn't touch. Those kind of hold the rear I/O cover in place. And even though I know I touched these, I'm a little OCD. I just want to make sure I put my screwdriver on all of them. I'll take the extra 20 seconds to do this. And that's it. It's installed. It looks like it's making nice contact. I mean, I felt it when I was tightening the card up anyway, so looks nice. So that was a lot faster than I thought. okay, I see what you mean. Well, dude, it is chilly outside. I think, you know, for us Californians, cold is like in the 60s, 60-degree Fahrenheit range. Yeah, it might be 68 degrees Fahrenheit, but I have my little space heater, so my garage is set to a nice toasty 72. As far as when the video cards are hanging inside a case, so when, you know, it'd be mounted like this, really the PCI Express slot is what's supporting the card. You know, primarily the I/O is supposed to, you know, and that's why you see these braces that run across it to help transfer the weight to this bracket. But I mean, just honestly, like that PCI Express slot is supporting the card. I don't know, I would say it's probably like half of the weight of the cards on the PCI Express and the other half is probably on this. And I've seen this with the Zotac card, and you'll see this, guys, when you're like on PC Part Picker. You know what, let me change the camera. So what I've seen is cards with backplates will still bend. So it's not the be-all end-all solution to fixing GPU sag. You know, I'll maybe do it from the bird's eye view. What you'll see when it's installed, you know, you'll see like, alright, up to where the PCI Express lane is, you'll see like this part of the card will start to sag. I've seen that with the Zotac, especially one of their 980 Ti amps. The customer had it in his computer for a while, and dude, it was like literally bending, even though that card has so much support, like bracing. I think these things just get so hot, it makes the metal soft, and they're so heavy, it'll just give in. With my build here, since the card sits, you know, vertically, I even went as far as to put this rubber bump stop, so that, you know, it's fully supported from like tweaking this way. I would like to make a bracket to prevent it from moving this way, but you could figure most of the weight is down here. Case Labs has a rubber bump stop underneath the motherboard where the PCI Express is, and you know, I just put one over here. I would like to do a LAN event of some sort in 2017, so that's kind of like what the goal is for this thing. Like, I actually want to take it places. I don't want it to be, you know, just like an internet beauty queen that like it's been posted on a few sites, and you know, I want it to actually be used outside of the house, and that's why I got the version with the handles. Yeah, dude, the space heater I have, it's one of those electrical heaters that you could buy like at Target or whatever, and it has a thermostat, so I could control the temperature, and it's like right on the floor, so dude, it like warms up my legs like nicely, and it's just great. But we're spoiled in California, man. Cold for other parts of the country is like 40 or 20 degrees. So I haven't had a customer complain about sag, GPU sag. So I mean, it's one of those things, it just happens. The only thing you could do is get a actual support brace for it. So guys, as mentioned, the official thing from EVGA would have been to remove the cooler and apply thermal pads on the actual chokes, but I kind of want to do this first. I want to see how it performs, and then because ultimately I do want to change my the plan is to change my thermal paste on the GPU core, but I want to just eliminate as many. I want to do one thing at a time and see how it affected temperatures. I don't expect any change in the GPU temperatures, but yeah, why not? Let's just do one thing at a time and see what happens. Excuse me. I'm gonna get a drink of coffee real quick, guys. So Wicked, the spray I'm using, it's like leftovers I had from the last job I had. It's technically a glass cleaner, but you'll see this, so they don't sell it because it's like their own private label brand. But you'll see this in like automotive shops. It might say glass cleaner, or I've seen it as actually like universal surface cleaner, and it's an aerosol spray that comes out as a white foam. Dude, I totally love it for fingerprints. Always test it in a spot that isn't visible, in case for some reason, you know, your keyboard or whatever will react to it. But that is like the best, man, for getting fingerprints on really tough stains. I actually spray it on directly onto the metal surface or whatever I'm trying to wipe, and I think when you do that, it kind of, because it'll foam, it kind of penetrates it a little more, and like for sure it'll come out. If it doesn't come out with that solution, dude, you'll need something like brake cleaner or something, which, dude, that stuff's so harsh. It could actually take some pain off. One little thing about that's pretty funny, these custom cables are from Cable Mods. It's their like mod flex or whatever, but the diameter of the cables must be thinner than other stuff, because dude, I had two different cable combs and they don't fit it very snug. So I kind of had to put like some foam in these cable combs. I don't know if you can see that. So it kind of just falls sometimes. So I might be looking at another solution in the future. So to fix that, I just kind of like pinch it so it has something to grip. I mean, cable combs are just for looks, but I still wanted to actually be functional. Cool, they look evenly spaced. I got my SATA plugged back in. Let's do the LED light bar, and we'll be just about done. I'll check the stream right now too, or the chat. And in this build, guys, I actually have the NZXT Hue Plus. So, I don't know if that was if I answered that already, but the brand is it's a private label brand. You cannot get it in stores, so you'd have to look for the what I mentioned. Otherwise, like if you really wanted this exact one, you'd have to go to Raymond Handling Solutions out in Santa Fe Springs. They'll sell it to you, but you gotta go to their counter. I don't know how much it cost. I think it's like $6 or $8. Should probably tell them I sent you. Maybe they'll hook you up. I left there in April. I left in good terms, you know, because you never want to burn bridges. Good place to work for. It's just I got tired of wrenching, and honestly, I just want to do something I like doing more. And that's building computers. But there we go. She's back to normal. I don't think there's any way I could start gaming. Yeah, I'm gonna have to probably end the stream. I want to give you guys a few more moments in case there's any questions. Let me switch camera angles a little bit. That might work. Thanks, Wicked. I appreciate it, man. I took a lot of time to get this one done. You know, measured, like I measured the cable lengths so that it's exactly the right length and everything, and put it here on the little Lazy Susan. But this build, guys, it's the i7 6700K, 32 gigs of RAM. 32 gigs of RAM. It's got the 950 Pro 512 gigabyte M.2. It currently has two 500 gigabyte 850 Evos. I wasn't able to RAID 0 them with the M.2 installed, so I might be removing them, and I might be doing like a single 1 terabyte, or maybe two 1 terabyte drives. That, you know, why not? And then I have a 1 terabyte spinning drive that I would like to upgrade to like a 4 or 8 terabyte soon. The video card, EVGA GTX1080 for the win. The Noctua U9S cooler. Cable mods, Modflex cables. The color choice was all mine there. Noise blocker, 120mm fans up front. They're pretty cool. You don't see them super often, but I think they were just a perfect fit for this build. I'm using the Corsair SF600 power supply and the Asus Z170i Pro Gamer motherboard. I wanted to go with the Impact, but I couldn't have done an M.2 if I used the Impact. So that was why I had to go with the Pro Gamer. Hue Plus for lighting, awesome, and it's got Windows 10 Pro, which can be a pain sometimes, guys. Like today, man, time just went back though, man. Oh shoot, wait, didn't it? Doesn't that mean we get an extra hour though, because of the time change? But man, guys, like, so Windows 10, I had like a network issue that I think was the reason why my streams were kind of cutting out sometimes. I was downloading Battlefield 1 today, and I kept cutting out, and I could watch videos and do everything just fine, except large downloads that would push like 15 to 20 megabytes per second would just cut out. And I had the latest drivers that were on the Asus site, so I was like, damn, the drivers were a year old, so I'm like, it very well could be a driver issue. But I posted in the Asus support thread on overclock.net, and while I waited, I'm like, screw it, let's see if Windows could find the right driver. You know, went to Device Manager, right-clicked, search for updated drivers. I have never had this work. Like, I don't think on Windows 7 it ever worked. On my other computer that was having similar issues, it's an older one, but it never found a newer driver, and that driver is like 3 years old. But it found a new driver, and then it worked. It downloaded the rest of the game. You know, so yeah, you know, you gotta love it when it's just a driver issue that fixes the computer. So guys, I'll keep any questions. I'll be glad to answer. You guys could also find me on Instagram, on Twitter, and I do have a web page, but I'll post it up right now in chat. My handle on Instagram and Twitter is RemisCS, RemisCS, and my webpage is that.com, so it's remiscs.com. Wicked, thanks for stopping by, dude. I'll see. I might start the stream up again, gaming. We'll see. We'll see. But other than that, guys, thanks for watching. And this will make it up to YouTube as well, which My username on YouTube is Remus Computer Solutions. But yeah, guys, thanks for hanging out. Till next time.